Alright, Linda, so let's talk about the upcoming mid-month banner that will be releasing in less than 12 hours time. As always, this is kind of standard on the channel. We talk about the characters right before they do release, even if the characters aren't worth summoning for. And in this case, that is what exactly this banner is. You might have already thought the banner came out because it is a pretty easy skip, but also the banner itself got announced way early than intended on the 13th instead of the usual 16th. But it is officially releasing tomorrow, so let's do one last look on these characters before we talk about them in next month's tier list. In this case, we have a new Genryusai, Retsu, and Jushiro, and obviously this is a banner you should be skipping. Essentially, since end the month of June, maybe even before that in May, we've had banger after banger after banger after banger. We've had a lot of big banners, a lot of big named characters, and a lot of amazing characters released in the last 2 or so months, 3 months since the anniversary officially started. And this is actually our first premium banner in a long time, and the best way to look at it is Caleb is saying, we need a break and you need a break. Here's a banner just for the sake of it. We come back in 2 weeks time and continue as is. So of course, our first premium banner, it being a mid-month since the anniversary has ended, it's going to be a pretty easy skip. Having said that, some mid-month banners do have some good value. In this case, you know, disregarding the fact that it's premium, disregarding the fact that the characters themselves don't look that cool, the characters themselves, I think, are very easily skippable. So let's quickly talk about them. So first up, we have Genryusai. Now, Genryusai is setting up to be somewhat interesting as a normal attack damage GQ character. And that's the best thing to look at him, right? He is a GQ normal attack damage character for the melee human guild quest. Because of that, his damage output is of course important, and in guild quest content, he has Flurry +2, 30% more melee damage, 50% more killer effects, a 40% bruiser, on top of the fact that his soul trait also offers an additional 40% normal attack damage when you are at full stamina, and then alongside that, he is the first normal attack damage character actually to be given the enemies defeated bonus, where after getting 40 enemies defeated, he will then pick up more bruiser. Overall, an extra 50% bruiser. Now, in case you aren't already aware, this does count as teammates kills, so if you are ideally using the best lead for this respective guild quest phase, that is Soifon, if she kills the entire wave with one strong attack, which she's likely going to do, it will actually increase the amount of defeats Yamamoto has in his counter. So he is able to get all this extra damage, especially on the final boss. He does need to be at full stamina to get that extra 40% normal attack damage through his soul trait, but that's very easily done because the 2 main leads for the melee human guild quest is Soifon and also Soifon, 2 characters that both can inflict paralysis. He was given long reach and also guard break, so if you do decide to use him outside of guild quest, you definitely can do that, but I wouldn't recommend it. He's mainly just there to be used in the melee human guild quests, and he is going to be your best normal attack damage character for that respective guild quest phase. If you don't have someone like Geo or you haven't maxed out Otatsuki, he is going to be good to have, and he will be meta in that particular team, but he's not like a must summon right now, because like I mentioned, we have access to characters like Geo and other human killers, more specifically Tatsuki, who is a free-to-play alternative who you can max transcend. Eventually, Yama will replace him and be on your team, but since he's premium, you might be better off getting him from summon tickets. Our next character is Retsu, a very similar character, and it is weird to see 2 of these characters in the same banner, but she is another normal attack damage character for guild quest content. In her case, though, she might be a tad bit more sought after, given the fact that she is a ranged normal attack damage character with the Quincy Killer. As of right now, the only ranged Quincy Killer with Flurry that we have access to is Ruka, a character that has come out a few years ago, whose damage output really isn't as high as you want it to be, especially when we ever do get the next set of Nightmare Quincy Guild quests. Retsu is going to be a more up-to-date version, and again, a character you definitely want to pull for in the future, but maybe not right now. She's a character you get later on through summon tickets. Just like Yamamoto, of course, her damage output is going to be relatively high, as she does have Flyer +2, 30% more range damage, and extra 50% kill effect in guild quest content. She has a 50% bruiser, with an additional 20% strong attack damage, with an additional 20% normal attack damage that she can give to your entire team, assuming they are Soul Reapers. And then she also does have an additional 30% normal attack damage in her soul trait, so damage output's actually quite good. It's a lot higher than the currently existing Ruka, and if you do pull her, or you get her later on, she will be replaced in Ruka, unless you have Ruka max transcended. But given that this character is premium, eventually you are going to get duplicates of her, and maybe this time next year, you might have a max transcended, because she's definitely going to be playing a lot as a fill-on sometime in the future. I feel like this Retsu would have been a lot more sought after had she been given a team boost SA2. Unfortunately, she does not have that, and instead she has a heal SA2, which is somewhat good, but you definitely do prefer a team boost because that's almost a requirement in every phase of Guild Quest. Speaking of this particular Guild Quest phase, you definitely can go without her, because right now I believe most of the meta teams that you are going to see, ones that can clear fast, are going to be characters that don't consist of any normal attack damage characters. For example, Toshiro being boosted by Shinji and also Akon. You can maybe even throw in Tendro for the added support, and then we're likely also going to see characters like Okyo paired with Yami alongside the Mugetsu soul trait with a team booster, maybe Maid Orihime, just to increase your main character's DPS, and a lot of people would do that over using normal attack damage characters like this. Had she been given a team boost, she could have fit right in nicely, and she would have worked alongside Ryuka. Unfortunately, that's not the case. It is nice, of course, to get added support for this particular Guild Quest phase, because like I mentioned, the currently existing normal attack damage character that is Ryuka isn't widely available, always available in banners, and that's what this Retsu is going to be sometime in the future. Similar to Yamamoto, it's more so a character that's good to have, because they're both meta in their respective Guild Quest teams, but you don't really need to pull for them right now. You can get them later on from summon tickets. And in a way, the same can be said for Jushiro. Actually, the coolest character in the banner. He actually has really cool gameplay. I do like what he has to offer. And his damage output's actually pretty decent, for at least what he wants to do. Frenzy +2, 60% Berserker, more damage to lacerated enemies. It's not too bad. Unfortunately though, this character isn't really designed to be played with. The main thing that makes him somewhat unique is the fact that he does increase the amount of jewels and also coins you can get, increasing the crystal and jewel drop rate by 50% and also the coin drop by 100%, and 30% of that is from his soul trait. So he might be a decent character to keep duplicates of in the future if you want to maximize your coin farming. For most veterans out there, for most people out there, you don't ever have to focus strictly on farming coins. That's just something you do naturally as you play the game. But he is going to be a good character somewhat to have in the future, just to throw in your team to get more crystals, jewels, and also coin. I wouldn't specifically pull for him just for that aspect alone, but it is a benefit if you eventually do pull him again from summon tickets. And in my opinion, besides the fact that again the characters don't look that cool, besides the fact that it is a premium mid-month banner in a period where we are going to get a bunch of limiteds, right? You're more better off saving for those. I don't need to tell you that. But the problem with this banner is that none of these characters here are designed to even be played with. Genryusai and Retsu, of course, as we've already stated multiple times in the last month or so, because they are normal attack damage GQ bots, they're better played with when you're not playing with them as sides in Guild Quests. They don't offer anything unique when it comes to manually playing them. You're better off using any other SP character. And then Jushiro, again, I feel like has some cool gameplay, but he's not really designed to be used. He's more so just there to be thrown on the team or as a link to get those extra coins and or crystals. It's one of the few times actually where we had a banner like this where basically none of the characters are designed to be played with. And I'd be a bit more critical on that aspect if we didn't just come off of like, again, multiple months of just amazing banners with really cool characters. This, again, like I mentioned, is a cooldown for us and even Caleb. The characters themselves aren't terrible, but they aren't characters that I think are worth summoning for with orbs. They're more so characters you get later on through summon tickets because they, again, are premium. I definitely would be using Retsu and Genryusai in my Guild Quest teams. If I ever needed coins, I'd definitely be using Jushiro, so I can see the value in these characters. But my way of obtaining these characters is simply going to be through summon tickets and or when they become fillers in the future. When it comes to the fillers, they themselves aren't anything super amazing. Nothing really stands out here. Kisuke is an outdated arena character. Barugan damage output and kit isn't really the best. Haven't really gotten a use out of this character at all. Hanachiro is a link shot and also droplet farmer, decent in epic raid content, but he doesn't do anything special. There's plenty of other characters like this existing in the game. Shinji is a character I would like to think a lot of people do have, but he is actually one of the better characters in this filler pool, mainly due to the fact that he has a debuff SA2, and he increases Soripa Captain's strong attack damage by 20%, and you can actually pair that with the Mugetsu soul trait to get 40% more strong attack damage for characters like Unohana and also 9th Anniversary Kenpachi. I use this character a lot in Guild Quest as a support character, and I'm actually using him right now in this current Guild Quest Soripa phase. Likewise with Okura, similar to Unohana and also Yamamoto, he himself is a normal attack damage character for Guild Quests. In his case, he does offer barriers and also debuff with his SA2. Good damage output, good for the ranged Captain Guild Quest, which doesn't have that many great normal attack damage characters. He is one of the better ones. Rukia is quite mediocre, I will be honest. Her damage output is tied behind inflicting status augments, and she only can inflict status ailments when she does her killer, which is up against Quincy's. And alongside that, her strong attack hit isn't really the greatest, quite a slow character, doesn't really offer anything unique. Shuei is a really good team support for any Mind Soripa, offering 20% more strong attack damage and also 40% more damage to any enemy that is inflicted with a status omen. And alongside that, you can pair him with Mugetsu to get even more damage. Really good support, almost a must-have support for any Mind attribute Soripa when it comes to Guild Quest content. Dodoni is a team booster, but he's not really that great. You can go without him. And then Yachiru is kind of an interesting character because she does have the recharge in between stages for any hard character in your team. She has a good strong attack hit, a decent damage output, but her killer doesn't do any favors. I've gotten a few uses out of her, but she isn't anything super exceptional. Overall, the banner itself is quite mid. I'd give it like a 4 out of 10. Again, pretty easy skip. If you do decide to summon, because I know there are people out there that are summoning for the idea of just summoning for their favorite characters. I know people are big fans of Yamamoto, Retsu, and also Jushiro. If you're summoning, do what you have to do. I did the same thing when Aaroniero and Ruka came out earlier this year. The banner itself objectively wasn't really worth summoning on, but I did it because I had to summon for Aaroniero. And I'm sure there are people out there doing the same thing. In this case, step 1 and 2 are discounted. Step 3 is a guaranteed 5-star. It's the crown step up format. It's the good step up format. Step 4 and 5 are discounted. Step 6 is a guarantee. Then step 7 and 8 are discounted. And then step 9 is a normal summon, with step 10 being a guaranteed 5-star new character. So either Jushiro, Yamamoto, or Retsu. And as always, this does not keep in mind what characters you've already pulled. If you pull Yamamoto and Retsu by step 10, this step right, it will not guarantee you a Jushiro. It's just always going to be one of the 3 new banner characters. Jushiro, Yamamoto, or Retsu. After that, you just repeat it. I don't think anyone is going to go all the way to step 25, but maybe some people actually will. So yeah, a pretty easy skip, some decent characters, but characters you simply get later on. It's a cooldown banner, a much needed one. Let's save our orbs for the upcoming end of month banner, which I'm hoping is going to be pretty exciting, especially considering the fact that we do have the anime returning in the month of October. So a lot of exciting stuff to look forward to. We're also getting a pretty big game update next week. This banner though, we can kind of skip past it. Hope you liked and enjoyed the video. If you are summoning on this banner, let me know how many steps you plan to do. Personally, I wouldn't even do the first step. I'm completely skipping this, but I'm curious to know if you have a different opinion. Hope you liked and enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.